Hi, Alan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you loud and clear.
Should I
So
mute
today
myself?
I'll be the moderator.
Okay, should I mute?
Yeah. The participant seems to be a bit late today.
Should I mute myself?
Sorry?
Should I mute my microphone?
You can mute it now, no problem, until everyone comes in.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Janice.
Hi, good
Hi,
afternoon.
how are you? Hi,
Yeah.
good afternoon.
Yeah, I think it will be slightly.
Hi, Alan.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good.
Oh. We still have one more speaker coming up, Kashbu. So let's wait a little bit more. Sarah, I'll be the moderator today.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, stop scare. Stop scare. First,
Oh,
skip the
Hi, Kabush.
Hi, Kush.
Hi. But hi.
Hi, Khushbu.
Hi.
Hi, sorry.
No worries, no worries. Let's, I think we have a bit more time. We're going to start another 2 more minutes, okay?
Oh shit.
Hello, good afternoon. Everyone can hear me? Hi.
Yes, Janice.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Janice. I'm the event director of the Digital Summit SEA. We organize events across vertical industry relating to technology and innovations. And if you're interested to join us in some of our upcoming events, please feel free to get more information from www.digitalsummitSEA.com. Without further, let me begin. Today, I'm your moderator for this 1-hour webinar session on the topic, how to take social media approach to scale your business in the context of Malaysia B2B companies. Presented by Freshworks. Today, I'm very excited to have the 3 speakers joining the conversation with me. Ms. Khushbu Nagali, and Mr. Alan Pang, Mr. Saraf Chandra Shekhar. Right? Did I pronounce all the names properly?
It's okay, even if you didn't.
Yes, the first speaker I'll be called upon is Khushbu Nagalia, which is an award-winning entrepreneur, a marketer, a well-known speaker, and a founder of Beyond 99, a global digital growth agency. She started early at 17 with a decade of experience, and now she's an expert with a reputation as one of the most dynamic young leaders, awarded as the top 100 most influential youth marketing leader, women business leaders in Malaysia, and excellence in leadership in branding and marketing. Over to you, Khushbu, to let us know more about you.
Thank you so much, Janice, for having me in the show alongside 2 amazing people as well. It's lovely to meet all of you. I should first of all help you and everybody who's watching right now to pronounce my name well. So, the best way to do that is you just call me Kush, and that's what most of my friends and everybody in Malaysia calls me. So Kush makes it very simple. And I would love to add, if you still find it any difficult, I know Shah Rukh Khan is super popular in Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, no doubts on that. And he once had a movie which is called Kuch Kuch Hota Hai. So my name pretty resonates with the Kuch, so you can call me Kush there. I hope that
Okay.
helps.
Yes.
Awesome. So just to thank you, Janice, for that beautiful introduction, of course. For everybody here, that all those is of course there, but definitely having two babies, which is Beyond 99 and Salt and Pepper, which is on the other side a growth agency and a growth academy, has been my passion for the longest period of time now, where our goal is to be able to help individuals as well as businesses who are right now in the growth phase and scaling phase, to be able to empower them with the right branding, marketing, and LinkedIn sales strategy.
Ah, that's nice. Fantastic. Thanks, Kush.
Thanks, Janice.
Thank you. Next, we have Mr. Alan Pang, the Regional Head of Marketing and PR at EVO's Esports, the leading esports organization in Southeast Asia. He's an experienced speaker. He was invited as a keynote speaker in TDX, talks and conferences in Asia, USA, Europe, and the Middle East. Without further, Alan, let us know more about you.
Thanks, Janice, for inviting us to this Digital Summit Southeast Asia. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Alan, handling marketing and PR at EVOS Esports. We have market presence in Southeast Asia, including Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore. So we are an esports organization, an esports team. Think of it as your, for example, Manchester United or Liverpool kind of team. And we have talents across multiple esports game titles like Mobile Legends, PUBG Mobile, Free Fire, League of Legends, Wild Rift, etc. We have 150 over talents across our network and average about 350 million views per month. And we work with clients like Visa, with Check Hub Coffee, PodMe, Yamaha, and Lazada. Thank you.
Very extensive. Yes, and we have some Saraf, Managing Director of MediaCom Malaysia. Saraf brings with more than 15 years of experience as a media planner at Group M agencies and a media auditor at Accenture across India, Southeast Asia, and China. Saraf, please introduce.
Yes, so I'll take a cue from Khushbu, and I'll also let you know how to pronounce my name. Unfortunately, I don't have a short form, so you will have to make do with Saurav. But I feel it's quite simple. So Saurav is the name, Janice. And thank you for the very nice introduction and the opportunity to be part of this conversation. I've been in the media agency ecosystem for, like you said, about 15 years now. The last 9 years have been at MediaCom, and all of my other time has been at Group M agencies. So we at MediaCom help big, small, medium clients figure out ways through content, through digital, through e-commerce, through activations, and through media strategy to figure out ways in which they can reach out to their consumers, potential consumers, effectively and efficiently. So that's what we do, and we are sitting in an exciting time where the lines between digital, traditional, all are being merged and rules are being rewritten. So quite excited about this time and this conversation. Thanks again for inviting.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, so we have drawn out some statistics over to us over here. There are 28 million social media users in Malaysia in January 2021. The number of social media users in Malaysia has increased to 2 million, and that's an increase of 7.7% between 2020 and 2021. We know that social media is a valuable communication tool to share, create, spread information, and to arrive at the best decision. But are we using social media reaching out to new buyers or prospects, valuing your customers and gaining their loyalty? Today, I'm very happy to have these experts sharing on this topic, how to take social media approach to scale your business. All right, let's go. Without further, let's begin our questions. Number one. Okay. Are you seeing, just to double check, are you seeing the full screen of this webinar?
We can see a slide.
You can see the slides, but it's not the full screen, is it? Am I right to say?
No, no,
Correct.
not yet.
Okay, all right. I guess, yeah, correct. Because that means there's something's wrong with um, the slides. Yeah, just give me a minute. I'll share screen.
No worries. Take your time. Alan, I should say I love your virtual background for sure.
Thank you.
I am inspired. I mean, I'm thinking, okay, we were in talks to get something similar, and the one that you have is so amazing. It's just about it's just about time when we get the mic in your hand, which you already have. Let's just say, all the rock star look. Yeah, Janice is back with her slides.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank you for this. Yeah. All right, we dive into the first question. And our first question is, what is social media to your company? And how does it allow you to increase awareness about your brand and to build a loyal customer base? Kush, do you want to be the first to take up?
Sure, Janice. I would love to take up this question. Trust me, this was one of my favorites. So I'm kind of happy that you started with me because we as a company. So just giving it a bit of a background, I started my career at the age of 17, like you mentioned earlier, from India. So that's where I was born, and that's where my first business is. But about 6 years ago, we expanded to Malaysia, and about 3.5 years ago, I had a vision which was towards a new direction. So I had to let go what I was working with and start something absolutely new, which is Beyond 99. Now,
Oh,
not being in a homegrown country, which is Malaysia, I was from India. That means my contacts, my relations, and network is not as far as people who are here. And that was one of the biggest challenge which I had in front of me while starting my company, incorporated with HQs in Kuala Lumpur. So one of the core things, and as to give a context to it, I was bootstrapping and did not wanted to spend hundreds of dollars on advertising because I know it works, but there is a journey of trust, a journey of credibility, which I would have to go through alongside my team to be able to win against a lot of local companies with local people. And that was not easy for us. So social media was that bridge which helps us today till today to be able to walk that gap, coming from a different country, being in a different country, and still be able to be a trusted solution provider to some of the largest jewelry brands, to be able to be with the largest venues and as well as airline brands today right now, and helping them on their social as well as marketing strategy, alongside to be able to get people who are today thought leaders, or we say celebrity founders, let's just say, or directors, reaching out to us to be able to help them with their LinkedIn marketing, with their LinkedIn organic strategy. So for me, of course, social media is vast, where it considers for Malaysia specifically Facebook, Instagram to be the top two, followed by LinkedIn and a bit of a Twitter as well. But LinkedIn as a platform helped us a lot to increase that awareness. And instead of we going all out to reach out to client, we were able to receive inbounds, which is people reaching out to us to know what we do and how can we help them. Now that clearly was an indication that no more I need to convince them that I'm not here to just do one time business. I'm here to stay. I have been in the country for about 6 years and looking at the long relationship. So that gap was clearly gone with my case. And when you always know it, and I'm sure the other two amazing people on the panel would agree that you are in a better position for our clients as well as for our marketing strategy, that if you get inbounds, it's a lot more stronger and the chances for conversion is very high. So the social media platform we use is LinkedIn, and we go with a lot of organic strategy, not advertising, to be able to connect with thought leaders and go into a concept of social selling, which I'm sure, Janice, we are going to touch upon a lot. But that is been our biggest strength so far as an organization. So it's not something that we have learned, it's something that we have done it and made a lot of mistakes, but now we know how it's done and are implementing it for other organizations.
Very well. Very well. But what was about the engagement side? How do you get engaged with them?
On LinkedIn, actually, it's very challenging now. Trust me, earlier it wasn't. For Malaysia, earlier it was, because there wasn't many Malaysians. So I used to always go other countries because they were more active on LinkedIn as compared to Malaysian. But last 1.5 years, I'll give credits to this pandemic situation where I can see a lot of people trying to find a getaway, how to meet people, how to talk to them, how to fill the gap of networking, which you can't do today at all, and attending virtual events, but you need to know what virtual events are happening. And on Facebook, it just seems a little intruding if you're absolutely going to a cold contact. But on LinkedIn, so one of the core tips that we give to our clients as well as to individuals we are training right now is to always go and build a rapport before sending a connection request. Now that is odd. People say, Kush, rapport before even connecting? Yes. Rapport before connecting means you go to their profile, engage with the content, engage with their profile, celebrate them, and then go and connect, which will indirectly already help you establish a visibility, which we say, no, the rule of seven. In marketing, there's a rule of seven, which is you give your presence before getting conversion. So at least do that in the organic approach as well, and it'll be an easy way to get connected with thought leaders on LinkedIn with a connection message. But don't forget to put a personalized invite to that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes. Yeah. Alan,
Yes.
yes, social media to your company.
Yeah, for us, excuse me, we look a lot on B2C, and our customer base is all online in the esports and gaming community. So in a way, you can say we live in brief social media. Without social media, there will be no esports per se, because everyone's tuning in to all sort of online platforms. And just like what Kush mentioned, for B2B, we use LinkedIn a lot to get to generate leads, business leads. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Saraf, anything to add from your side?
Yeah, so like Khushbu and Alan both mentioned, right, there is a big role that social media, at least in the digital space, plays. But where I come from, there is a B2C angle also, which we have to look for our clients. So our clients expect them to advise us about how to use social media. And there is a B2B angle where we have to grow, I have to grow our business along working with the team to secure more clients. So on the B2C side, social now has operates on a large spectrum. So there are clients and brands who now look at social media not just deep engagement, but also in some places almost like a substitute for television. There could be it's or free to air television, because people don't watch as much TV as they used to earlier, and they're scrolling. There's multi-screening happening. So the opportunities at a large scale, at cost efficient pricing, to reach consumers, social tends to help. And there are some brands who can afford it, some brands who can do it. Not all brands do it. So that's one end of the spectrum. Right at the other end is brands who look at social only to drive conversions, because they can sell on social media. One is through influencers, the other is through a lot of data rich strategies that can drive conversion on e-commerce platforms. So that's one extreme. And the other clients are those somewhere in the middle who are using a balance of both. So from that B2C consumer angle, there is a huge role that social plays. Now, the other role that social plays is also on listening. Social is a nice listening post where you understand what's happening, and actually you can use that information to tweak your media strategies and communication strategies and plans. If you have a finger on the pulse of the consumer, like for example, today is the first day of the MCO, correct? And although people are very used to it now, unfortunately, if you go on to social media and use that, how people are reacting now versus a year ago, can I use that and opportunities to add value to their lives through my brand, and what role I can play? So using social media to understand how people are thinking and reacting, that's also one big piece in how we use it. On the B2B side, like Khushbu mentioned, very, very good platform, LinkedIn, especially from the point of view of building deep engagement. First, figuring out who your potential consumer or potential partners are, uh, creating a very unique and personalized value proposition, and then living it on the in all the interaction that you're having with those people that you're connecting with. So I think that those two parts is where we find ourselves, at least I find myself juggling with when it comes to social media.
Thank you for all the sharing. I think there's a lot of challenges also, at the same time. But yet the different touch points that we are using is able to get engaged with them, with the customers, right? All right, we shall go on to the next question. The next question is, how do we build a strong brand on social media effectively? And getting the right branding goals, building a loyal audience, and of course, choosing the platforms that fit the business best and more. So maybe we can have Alan to share on that first.
Yep. I'm sure for those tuning in from the marketing or branding side, they already know that to create a strong brand, you need consistency. So for us, we have our template on churning out content. And then for the right branding goals, of course, every year we have a different brand alignment, like the messages we want to portray. This year is a lot about CSR, giving back to the society via our esports community, and about building loyal audience. We always give them what they want. When I go to the US and Europe, they always say the A word, being authentic. Need to be original, and platforms that fit our business best. For EVOS as an esports team organization, we need to be sensitive to the type of platforms that our customers, our audiences are on. So, for example, like Indonesia definitely is a YouTube market. In Malaysia, definitely Facebook and a bit of YouTube as well. And let's say in Singapore, more on Facebook as well. So of course, in the US and Europe, you hear a lot about Twitch, the gaming live streaming platform. But in
Yes,
Southeast Asia, it's different. So yeah, it's very fragmented in that sense. It's not a one size fit all, and we need to be accustomed to that.
we
Thank
do
you.
definitely. Yeah. What about Sarah? Sarah, anything to add in on this?
Hmm. So on brand building itself, I think the first thing that needs to be clear is what role is social playing in brand building, because brand building is not just social domain, but it starts all the way from what the core of the brand is, how it's being communicated across all touch points, and social plays a role in those in that whole communication with your potential customers itself. So, like Alan very rightly mentioned, I think it all starts with understanding what the core of the brand is, uh, and that has to be constant across years, across social platforms, and across any kinds of messages that we give out. Like for example, in our case, in the case of MediaCom, we live by the philosophy of people first, better results. What that essentially means is that our people are the people that we work with, whether it is the people working in the agency or our industry partners or our client partners, they are at the center of everything that we do. And everything, all the actions therefore that we take are all revolving around those people. So those interest of those people comes first before anything else. So when it comes to therefore any kind of branding goals that we set, we have a strong emphasis on how our initiatives and how the campaigns that we run are building the people that are involved in it, or they are building the people that are being touched by it. So whether it is people who are working in the agency or our clients. So that becomes the core, and then everything is around it. Now, the other part is, of course, the fact that social media is not just digital. Social media is everywhere you interact with potential people, consumers that you touch. So earlier, before life, pre-pandemic life, there used to be things like industry forums, events where you can go and talk to people and where you build your connections, correct? And that used to be a big part, and I will big part of this whole exercise, and I would still call it social media because that's a medium on which you are socializing yourself and communicating with people. So that in itself is also a big opportunity where it becomes very important to bring your promise to life. Uh, Social media allows us to, the digital aspect of it allows us to position ourselves in a very, very attractive way. But the challenge comes on living that whole branding promise when it actually comes to delivery. So when you finally meet real world connections, are you the same self as you are on LinkedIn, or are you somebody different? Yeah, have you employed somebody to write your posts, or are you doing them yourself? And therefore, in every interaction that you're having, whether it is physical or digital, that aspect of your communication and your brand is coming through very nicely so that people can really see that you are authentic, and this, the way you are on LinkedIn and the way you are on Facebook is the way you are in real life. So I think those are the two things that are very critical in this whole context of brand building and the role that social plays in that brand building.
Thank you for this. Yeah, it's true. What about Coach? Is there anything to add in over here?
So, since very important and interesting points have been added by Alan and Saurav both, and how initially they should get started, I'll just add to that that what's next. One of the core things that is highlighted here, if we notice, is branding goals and loyal audience. Loyal audience is very important. Means you must have high retention. Your audiences should be your advocates, and at the same time they should be someone who at the end of the day is ready to even become your salespeople. Not like they're getting money out of it, but indeed they're the ones who actually bring a word of mouth, which has the highest conversion rate in marketing when it comes to getting clients. In that scenario, what happens is one thing that the brand should do after doing all the legwork is to come up with their story, their brand story. And that brand story is what connects with people emotionally, helps them to remember a brand even if they have not worked with for the longest period of time. As simple as we remember stories our grandmothers told us as a kids, that's the same thing that is applied in the business storytelling as well. So I'm just assuming that the service product, what you are offering as a business to your customer, is already high quality. But in those situations, also, when you're providing the best of the best, how do you still retain the business and how do you still stay connected? Is that story which helps you to take the word outside in the market and build that memorability along with bringing extended conversions. So my ad would be that. And of course, if anybody who's trying to build a story for their brand, we have always in the business have four step to look into it. And if I have to mention it very quickly, then the first one would be to establish an emotional bond with your audience, and then finding a deep connection with them, as in being on the same page. Now, I would just say, okay, I don't know, but I just feel that maybe Saurav is also having some roots back in India. So that's like connecting and coming to a common resonance, which is very important in case of storytelling. You must be able to understand your audience's pain or what they're going to get out of it. The power of contrast, that's very crucial. How do you establish the contrast of rich and poor, the day and night? And finally, of course, please do not tell a story which is coming from falsehood. So because that is going to cost even bigger to the business. So if you're saying you're, I mean, there is a big catch line in India which says Maggie noodles can be cooked in 2 minutes. And I have never been able to do that ever in my life. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, though I mean it's something that has been very popular, but that's something the brand shouldn't do. It was okay at the time when Maggie released it because their concept was for fast food and the quick meals. But yeah, it should be on the fact of truth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Actually,
Thank you for sharing all this. Yeah. Yes. Anything
one,
to add?
if you don't mind, the one word that Khushbu also mentioned, which is contrast, that actually triggered something. And what I've also realized is that sometimes challenging somebody's views, on social media without offending them also helps to spark conversation and helps to establish that you have a mind of your own. Sometimes what happens is a lot of people, publish their views, and typically 99% people will either comment will either share, but very few people will actually comment. And amongst those few people that comment, most are congratulatory and sometimes go in line. So that contrast that Khushbu mentioned is also very critical in the sense that if you have a counterpoint of view and if you express that in that LinkedIn post or any post that somebody has posted, and with evidence and some belief about what you believe, it can result in some good arguments. Sometimes it becomes ugly also.
But it's
I've
someone
been
needs to reflect on this. It only becomes ugly if someone doesn't know how to put it out as a POV. When they try to
Correct,
judge, then that becomes a problem. But if they're just putting
correct,
it
yeah,
out, I have seen those conversations personally in my life turning into good friendship, then finally catching
yeah,
up for dinner
Yeah.
and then talking business.
Yeah.
yeah,
So true. So true.
that's right.
So I love that point. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Correct. All right. Thank you so much for this very exciting questions and all the aligning of branding objectives and the strategies. Thank you so much. Move on to question number three. And the success of your social media depends heavily on content, like what you mentioned earlier. What kind of content will you produce? What role does it play for social media to customer service and ultimately growing your business? Maybe we have a Kush to start off with.
Sure. I think when it comes to content strategies, there could be many, and I could definitely talk about my strategy, which started with lots of video creation. So I've created more than approximately 290 videos easily by now, and have
Wow.
shared across multiple platforms, where LinkedIn being predominantly the biggest one. Personally, I do not use too much of Facebook to say, because it's filled with my personal contacts, friends, and family. So that's a different story at all. There is no aversion to the usage of Facebook, guys. Please use Facebook as well. It works well. But indeed, you have to see who you are connected with. If it's all about your cousins and friends, then nothing is going to happen there. You have to open up your network to the cold ones, and then you can see the magic. But yes, I would actually take this question a little in a different way as well, because we have audience here. When today we know that 2019, 2020, 2021 has been the year of videos, and it's all about videos, and people say come on the video, and it's great. It is phenomenally awesome. It helps give face to the name, emotions to the name, and people relate to the eyes, to the smile, and everything. But if someone who wants to start a journey and finds it difficult to talk to the camera, then I only have to say one thing. There has been time when we have been sitting with thought leaders, SME founders, startup founders, and told them that can you just stop making videos and focus on just quality content. So it is not
Hmm.
about the kind of content delivery, it is the quality of the content that you put out, the
Yeah.
value that you are putting out, how much is that helpful to your audience. Now, let's just say, for example, today I'm connected with entrepreneurs, professionals, and tomorrow I start posting about students life, youth life consistently, then none of the entrepreneurs and the professionals will connect with though the content is high quality, high value, but then it doesn't relate with my community, with my network, or my people. Now that's the second problem. So it should be very carefully planned. As Alan earlier mentioned, consistency. So consistently planned in a manner where you keep on going with the strategy, which is designed based on your audiences and the community you have. Now, finally, of course, one of the most important thing is reminding people of your presence is the most important reason why a brand, a business, uh, employee or an employer must curate content. Now as an employee also today, every business is telling, go, even if you can get clients and you are in HR, no problem, we need clients, because
Yeah.
it's pandemic times, it's all about getting new clients. So if
Yeah.
every employee of the business thinks about humanizing the brand and becoming the voice to the brand, their promotions are not very far. The fact is, because the bosses will see that they are trying to push out the brand in some or the other manner. So having a voice for yourself, putting it out on the media with your brand, even if you're the founder or an exec or even an intern, helps not only the brand but also yourself, because you will be able to come out of your uh, the nervousness and the self doubt, all of this as well, because that's a natural feeling which any content creation leads in. But
Yeah.
also one more thing, which is, let's just say, Janice, if you keep on posting about the digital summit is happening in Southeast Asia, day one is about Alan, day two is about Saurav, and you speak about this again and again, you will remind people, hey, I exist, don't forget me. It's the noise that we have so much around us. Why will we remember someone? We have got kids, family, husbands, parents, COVID tension, business, PNLs, investors, then social media itself leading to all several. Why would we remember someone?
Yes.
Your content strategy acts like a small signal. I exist. If you ever need me, remember. So that was
All
my.
right. Definitely. Definitely. Yes. It's really optimizing, really. Um. Well, Ellen.
Yes. So for us, we are a bit different. We are actually an esports team, so the way how we churn out content is a bit different from other brands, because usually people think of esports team of just coming up with gaming content, our talents playing games every day. But this called g- um, exhaustion, because if the audience just see the same content every day, same old, they
Yeah.
get bored. So we have multiple content formats. We have like a kind of like a podcast kind of format as well. We have like a short skits or funny games. So whatever you used to see on television, TV shows, all the weird reality shows with funny kind of activations, we kind of integrate our clients' brand presence into it as well. So yeah, not just about playing games, because the audience will get bored. And in terms of customer service, we're still new in the space for our own merchandise. So we've rolled out merchandise on Lazada, and usually we get feedback. They usually inbox us, and we just take it from there. We don't get so much hate messages unless when the team loses. Then you
Mhm.
get a normal kind of like, hey, why did the team lose kind of thing. But other than that, it's kind of neutral. They are very supportive, this esports community. Thank you.
Thank you. Sarah, you want to add in something? I'm sure you have
Yeah.
lots of things. Yeah.
I do have lots, but I'll only share 2 points in addition to what Khushbu and Alan also mentioned. One is how to avoid echo chambers when it comes to content, and the other is more about fit for purpose content. Now, on the first point about echo chambers, and this is coming from my experience. Sometimes what happens is that, in actually a lot of times what happens is that, since the LinkedIn network is essentially people in your industry, a lot of time you tend to get feedback that tends to validate what you think, and nobody ever you don't test your content with somebody who doesn't know anything about the industry. So you're never able to think of it from a very different angle. So sometimes that content that you're posting out gets 150 likes. You feel great about yourself, but there's no conversion because it's an echo chamber in which everyone thinks the same and everyone validates the same. So the content, what I've figured out is that sometimes before posting out content, I test it out with people who are not in the industry. So doctors, financial auditors, and friends that I have in banking, they have absolutely no idea about the industry. They have no idea about the terminology that we use. And so the questions that they ask are so basic and so innocent that I helps me to craft the content in a way that even if somebody from the university who I want to target to be able to get to my company is able to understand it as well as a seasoned professional, and it's looked at it from various angles. And I I always reiterate that it's always important to look at content from various angles because you don't know how somebody is interpreting it, especially with the kind of awareness that's there outside in the world today. Whatever you say, even if it's harmless, could be interpreted from the angle of gender diversity, inclusion, any kind of angle, and misconstrued. So you have to really test out the content from multiple pressure points. And the other one I wanted to share was more about fit for purpose. And this I'm borrowing from some of the works that we do for our clients also, where fit for purpose essentially talks about, what to design, like Alan mentioned, podcasts, infographics, videos. We really have to have a widespread, and LinkedIn allows for that. Facebook also allows for it. Instagram also allows for it. There are polls, there are videos, you can post infographics, long form articles, or any short form videos. You can do live streams on LinkedIn. So that spread, it's important to test out all the spread and use it as much as possible from the options that you have on the platform. We've seen live streaming is helping out a lot now, uh, and cutting that live streaming into short bite-sized formats, sending it to your clients on WhatsApp so that they can consume it before they go to sleep.
Yeah.
Not that it puts them off to sleep, but the redesigning and repurposing that same content into digestible formats, that also helps. So
Yeah.
those are the two things I wanted to share. One is that whole echo chamber, and the other is designing content which is fit for a purpose.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, it's true. The use of the right content, strategies that will fit to the right audience, and that's what is very important. And it's true that we see a lot of trends about using WhatsApp. Where
Yeah.
you can do things like optimizing the kind of like instead of using social media. Yeah. So thank you very much. We shall go on to question number 4. To remain competitive, every brand needs to keep the latest trends, innovations. So, what are the trends which could provide massive opportunities as well as challenges? Discuss trends in digital solutions if you have. Yeah. Anyone wants to take up first? Alan,
Maybe so.
do you want to take up first? Do you have anything like digital solutions that you're using or something
Yeah.
like that?
For us, we are a startup. Um, we just installed Slack, Slack. It's an internal communications platform widely used around the world, and we found it useful. Previously, we were using Telegram, which was kind of like all over the place. So Slack kind of like put everything in perspective, and you can straight away search for all your colleagues from anywhere, any part of the world. So yeah, I think it's really a powerful tool, and also we use a lot of Google Sheets and the Google Slides, so that helps a lot in terms of collaboration or cross country, etc. Thank you.
So for Coach yourself, how do you you know keep up with it, keep up with these trends and innovations? How do you
Janice, your voice is cracking. Is it only for me or is it for everyone?
It's a little soft,
Yeah,
is it for me? Is it soft?
but now
now
it's
it's
better.
better. Now it's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
What were
So
you?
for yourself, yeah, yeah. Do you, yeah, can continue, no problem. Question four. Yes.
Okay, question for okay. If I understand it right, you were asking about how every
So
brand.
how do you upkeep? Yes. How do you keep up with the tech itself, the trends and innovations in your organization for your organizations, and how do you ride through the challenges?
Now there are multiple challenges as an organization that we have, and when it is about keeping up with the trend, it depends on uh, three core things that I can feel. One is on the operational level, like how do we adapt, or how do we make sure that everybody in the team is well connected. The second is on personally business growth level, which is how do we keep up with the current competition which other brands that we are offering has similar services, and how do we keep up with that, what's happening. And the third is for our clients, their business, how is the competition in their space. Now we cater all three of them very differently. Of course, Alan talked about some of the tools, so just to add in, we definitely use some simple tools like Asana. And there is another tool, and I'm really not getting the name of it, I was checking in and I forgot, which is for used for networking, which is where we come in and it takes us in the group or automated groups, and then it allows us to talk to each other and network with each other, which is very, very good. But one thing that we do in the organization, which has been a practice that we've started this year, is something called office hours. Now that's very interestingly that we have introduced in. I would give credits to my partner and his idea, who is the CEO of the company as well. What we did is we wanted everybody to stay connected as well on a consistent basis, and not only be connected on all hand meetings and or brainstorming meetings. So every day approximately for 2 hours, every team member is connected together over one single call, and we are working together so that there's a buddy system. They don't feel alone, they feel like they're working together because they're connected with each one of them virtually. And they'll just unmute themselves and talk as if they're talking in the office, and they'll discuss with each other, and everybody can feel the ambience. And I have seen that ever since this has been implemented, they are more charged up, they're more happy, and they feel the part of the ecosystem, the internal ecosystem is
Yeah.
there more strongly. So
Yeah.
it's
Yes. Definitely, which is very important right now, right? Because when the COVID, everybody is works from home.
so true, so true. And it also makes me very happy to be able to speak to them. Just unmute and you can talk to them. You don't have to wait for getting connected and everything. It's improved our productivity level also to the next. However, when it comes to the next two things, which is about on our business growth side and as well as to the market growth that's happening, I think there are several tools that we have it in build, but one of the core things that we do is keep up with the latest news trends and happenings which is in and around. So not only push out content, it's important to absorb as well. So the first thing that we do is we focus on learning, a lot of learning inside the organization, and personally I'll do as well. It's one thing that I definitely practice on a very consistent basis, is to read through what's happening in the industry, and having some tools set it up so that I can spy on my competitors, like super, super keen, and just go all out and know, okay, what are they doing? Let me just see. So it's like
Yes.
speaking into. So we have those tools set it up, automated, and it sends us emails that what's they are doing. And then we need to just make sure that I regularly keep on checking those emails and not miss them out.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Yeah. Saraf, do you have anything to add in for this, the digital solution side, and how do you remain competitive?
I want to first do a plus one on monitoring competition that Khushbu mentioned, and that is really critical, and more from the point of view of realizing that we are part of an industry and an ecosystem, and monitoring competition is not just about knowing or what they're doing, but also complimenting them when they're doing a good job. At the same, you can expect that they complement you too, because everyone then grows together as a responsibility to the ecosystem. Uh, because we compete as well as collaborate in the market space. I'm sorry, there's a little noise here because it's raining. Just give me Yeah. So that's one. The other thing that I wanted to share was, to keep up with the latest trends and innovations, and more than keeping up. What we've realized is that our clients and prospective clients are happy when our people are happy, and what if our people are happy, they'll be happy when they are recognized, rewarded, etc. So I have seen this very interesting app called Thanks. You can check it out. It's called Thanks by OC Tanner, and that app allows is like an internal social network, which allows people to compliment each other, reward each other for a good job done, and enables a lot of employee engagement, which keeps the overall health and culture in the organization alive. And that comes out in the output, that comes out in happy clients, and those happy clients therefore recommend you to other clients through word of mouth. So at the core, it's the people of the company, how they're feeling, and that app is the one that immediately comes to mind. And these it's called Thanks, and that's the one that a lot of us listening should definitely try, because that helps in building a lot more engagement and culture in any small or big organization.
So sounds like a lot of collaborative things are happening. And so upkeeping of being competitive is also important.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much here. I'm going to move on to question number 5. Stories format does not provide a new engagement opportunities. Brands do have a one significant challenge to overcome. With such fast-moving and crowded content format, how do you stand out? Which is very important, right? How do you create memorable stories that will let the users to remember, yeah, and sweeping away at the first opportunity. I think this push, and you touched on it earlier. So anything to add in on this?
I think one of the most important thing to stand out, I would
Mm,
say, is first of all try to give up thinking too hard. So when it's about thinking too hard, is brands coming and saying, "Kush, I want to get my content go viral. I want hundreds and thousands of like as well." So there is no magic formula to going viral. What your audiences will like, you will never be able to guess. And one of the
Yeah.
biggest, I would say, rivals of marketing and branding is guesswork. Always get your data, which you have the numbers. When Saurabh mentioned about monitoring, yes, exactly, it is indeed about all those numbers and data points that you want to use, and then craft your stories based on that. So don't be super emotional when you're trying to create a story. Get your data points up. Now comes the challenge of standing out. If you want to stand out, one of the core things that makes you stand out is not what you do, is your people, is your community, or who is in that story. What is the story like? So two ways: collaborate with large communities to launch your stories, and that collaboration should be done with the communities which already relate with your story, with your brand, and has that introduction done, phase completed. That is one way of standing out. The other
yes.
way of standing out is, I would just ask, have you guys seen Watson's advertisements that is for the Chinese New Year and for the Raya?
Yeah.
Alan, have you seen it?
No, not I can't
Okay.
remember.
And Janice?
No, no, not for. Is it only for Malaysia? In
Yeah.
Malaysia?
Yes, that's for Malaysia. Yes, that's for Malaysia. So indeed, Watson, though having such a strong brand presence already, one thing that they did to stand out is they got lots and lots of influencers who already had a community to come in together and curate a story which can be related to every individual of that particular culture that they come in from. So start with resonance, which is one of the most important thing I mentioned about. Get the community to connect with that resonance, and if you cannot be the protagonist, get the influencers who already have the community to be able to standing out in the network or among the people that you want to launch your story in. These are some of the most highest performing advertisements as well, that once you curate your story, your content with these people, go all out and distribute it among different networks, whether it is paid or organic. Use both the methods, marry them together, and let it reach to every single heart and mind so that they can relate with it. This would be my take on how exactly can you stand out in today's world.
So there's a little bit of emotional. We have to say that.
Of course, that's what,
Yeah.
that is the first part. Now when it comes to emotions, I have to mention, please do not be self emotional about it. Be compassionate, be empathetic, don't be sympathetic, and just make sure that you have the data points, which is what is the real pain. Now earlier in the discussion, I remember we talked about COVID, early COVIDs, which was the first MCO, and this is the third MCO. I think, Saurav, you mentioned about the emotion analysis and the social listening between the two MCOs, which was absolutely different. You will
Right.
not believe the my readings when I was doing it for a client. MCO one, people were not accepting, and that was okay. But
Yeah.
now it has become more challenging. People are still not accepting,
Mhm.
but it
Yeah.
was expected that it will be not the case. So
Yeah.
it's getting more difficult for businesses now. Earlier it wasn't. Earlier there was more of a taboo. Now it's actually happening. So
Yeah.
readings are something which people are relating with. So something I just mentioned right now, I crafted with my own pain points, but it was actually backed by data. That is why three heads right now nodded, right? Immediately, this is what happened. So that is what exactly people have to do. They have to read the data, package it with a story so that people feel, yeah, this is what is happening. Just don't go all out and say, oh my God, third MCO, but we are all prepared, no problem. We are all crafted. And then the other side, the people are, what are you saying, man? Maybe you are, I am not. So
Right.
this is something that has to be well prepared with people for be able to go out now.
And I think if I can just add two more points.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
there's
Yes.
this very nice point that Khushbu mentioned about protagonist, correct? So if the brand or you are not able to play the protagonist, see ways in which you can help somebody else shine. That's also something that people appreciate and will work for you in your favor moving forward. And the other is having a plan B, especially with communications in these volatile times. There is definitely a need for a plan B. It actually, before COVID, there used to be a plan B. Now there is right until Z, plan A, B, C, D. So we really need to have lots of backup plans, which can be activated depending on how the situation changes. And especially when it comes to communications, because it's so real time, you need to have those templates ready. What if this happens, then I will respond this way. What if this happens, I will respond this way. But all these responses need to tie back to some core principles that obviously cannot change about your brand, about your services, and about what you
Mm,
offer.
mm. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Alan, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, I think on top of what our panel speakers Kush and Saurabh has mentioned, also I find this interesting. How do you create memorable stories that will halt users from swiping away? So the studies reports being shown within the first 3 seconds, right? So your video or content, whatever people see, needs to be eye catching. It needs to be colorful,
Yes.
not too dull. I mean, for those out there who are still new to social media, so these are key elements because of the, especially the Gen Z and millennials, they swipe very fast. So you need to catch them within that first 2 to 3 seconds per se.
Mm, definitely. Yeah. Those are the very short span of time, right? Their attentions, and then they just snap what is important in the first few minutes, right?
Janice,
Seconds.
I can definitely add one thing, that if you are curating content and you want to test it, go inwards. Don't go out, even go inwards. Get your own people, get your kids, get your
Yeah.
siblings, get your cousins to see it. And if they don't see it, even when you've asked them to just see it once, you would know that you're not getting the people who trust you, who love you, to see your
Yeah.
content. How will the other people will be able to connect with your content? They are not the right audience to test your product or service, but they are the right audience to test your marketing materials for sure, if they understand it.
What a good move. That's a good one. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's quite interesting. Yeah. We could move on to the question number 6. Um, right. Coming to the last question. And the future is challenging but exciting. What has social media and digital done to your business strategy in the new normal? I guess are we in a new normal right now? Or is more than 1 year? What do you have to say? Alan, do you anything to add?
Yeah, I think everyone's talking about TikTok. So definitely, as you as a brand out there, if you all haven't tried TikTok, please get on board. It's just another platform per se, but usually all these new platforms, the algorithm they will push out a lot of they'll push out the content a lot, and even like Instagram, you got Instagram Reels, so try it out as well, Instagram Reels. So if you post anything on Instagram Reels, usually Instagram or the platform might push out your content more aggressively at the start. Thank
Interesting.
you.
Thanks a lot. Kush, anything?
Janice, you took me down the memory lane. I was just thinking how the last 1 year has been for us. And because I was just looking at the word new normal, and that made me really walk down the path, because whatever plans we had for Beyond 99 for 2020, that was going to be one of the most scalably high growth year for us, but that didn't happen. We didn't have to retrench, we didn't have to cut down, but of course we didn't saw the growth the business was supposed to see that year. But
Mhm.
yes, we got time, and I could launch two of my dream projects that year. So this social media and this digital in the new normal gave me an opportunity to be able to host a LinkedIn live talk show, which is Link Prana Stories, where we have already hosted more than approximately 62 people from APAC, who are thought leaders, who are business owners like Azran Oman Rani, like Vince Than, Malini Agarwal,
Mhm.
Ron Malhotra, Naveen Jain from US, who's also a billionaire and is working with Elon Musk. All of these people on our show, and all was absolutely possible because this new normal had given us an opportunity to go all out and be able to meet them, bring them on our live show. So of course this Saturday is our 63rd episode of the entire Link Prana Stories. And second is to be able to launch a growth academy, Salt and Pepper, where today, as I'm standing, we have coached more than 9 corporates with teams more than 150 people, and individuals approximately 850 till date over the last 5 months alone. So if we were able to do all of this was only possible because of this new normal. People had gone virtual, we could do virtual trainings, we could host that high intensity of audience together, and at the same time people were in the mindset of learning, so the talk show was also possible.
Yeah, a lot of businesses is one like ours, dance business. We are also in the online right now. Yeah.
Absolutely, you are organizing digital event, you look at this webinar, you're doing a digital summit. That's lovely.
Yes, that will be in June. Yes, that one has about 500 or more people.
Wow,
Yeah, that's the
that's
target.
something.
Yes, yeah, that's going to be a large queue. Yeah. What about Sarah? Anything to add in for your side?
And to me, the new normal, frankly, I have no memories of 2020. It's when I think about it, it's a complete wipeout. I can't really think what actually happened because it just went on in a zap. Uh, so jokes apart, the I think for us, what this has done to the business strategy is bring in a lot of focus on agile processes and structures. And second is a mindset to invest right now.
Mm,
A lot of investment opportunities in people, especially like you mentioned,
mm,
training, learning, is opening up now. So because the world is now much flatter because of digital,
mm,
so it is the time to invest in learning. for companies. And if that means apportioning a little more of your learning agenda budget to equip the people, now is the time, because then the benefits will start coming in when things go back to normal. And the other point is about going back to the agility point that I mentioned. Right now, in big or small organizations, what really helps is that create smaller SWAT teams that can help you move fast and respond faster. Typically, in large organizations or even small organizations where lots of processes are there, what this whole new normal COVID situation has done is, make no one has had an option but to move fast. So there is a habit of people to now become agile and solve problems rather than getting tangled in processes without, of course, being non-compliant to policies and non-compliant to government regulations. So that agility and that whole investment mindset is the one that I feel has happened to most businesses this time.
So everyone is really looking bright, and then is exciting for the coming years.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think we have finished with all the questions, and we're waiting for any Q&A. We're going to start the kind of any questions from the floor itself, any from the attendees. So share with us if you have any questions for the speakers over here. Yeah. So so far we didn't. Feel free to let us know what kind of questions that you want to ask. Otherwise,
No, we were so convincing.
Oh, there's one question. So, me. Oh, okay. Yeah, we have to leave soon. Okay. Yeah. So, do I think there isn't any questions over here.
No, so Jenny, what we're going to do, I think if they feel like, they can always come back to us and ask questions. Of course, in this social media world, all of us are connected, isn't it, Saurav, Alan?
Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Anytime. Yes, anytime. Just email to us, and then we will. In fact, because this webinar is recorded and will be uploaded, so anytime can revisit and to re-listen to what the conversations are about, right? And I think it's going to be good. Yeah, that's the digital world.
Yes,
which is good. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. And we've ended the sessions right now. We're going to end soon. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email to us, and we will revert back to the speakers, anything for us. And we will upload this webinar to the YouTube. So we'll be sending all the links to everyone and putting it into our LinkedIn page. Thank you very much, speakers. Thank you for joining us, and have a lovely day. Thank you. We're going to end this.
Thank you for inviting. Thank you, Alan. Nice to meet you.
Thank you,
you.
Sarah,
Bye.
Kush.
Bye.
Bye, Alan. Bye, Saurav.
Bye.
Thanks, Janice. Bye.